What is up, everyone? It is the Mister. How y'all doing? Hopefully, you are doing well this evening, or day, or morning, where whatever time of day it is where you're at. Today, I will be continuing a single player map on the Farming Simulator 19. I've been playing it pretty frequently. I haven't been putting a whole lot of time in the single player game. Because my thoughts is I might have to start another one, but I want to do just kind of like a let's play. Well, I guess it's not so much a let's play, but like a series. And you guys will be able to find that on my YouTube channel. You can find that by either hitting exclamation YT in the chat, or you can go down below in the About Me section, and it is located there as well. But I will be starting a series. I think I'll probably just do like a start from scratch, but I'm thinking about doing it on the European map. To be honest, I have not done anything on the European map, so it would be a good place to kind of start on the Let's Play. Everything would be new to both you and me, so we'd kind of learn the map together. Okay, let's see, where are we at? Is it ready? Not quite. Okay, it is still growing, so we got plenty of time. Plenty of time. I guess I can kind of get everything put into position now. As you can see, we do have just like the bare minimum kind of start equipment right now, because we only have about $3,000 left. So okay, which field did we start on here? Oh, whoa. Shoot myself in the foot here. Let's see, that because they all need to be weeded. I don't think I have a skinny. I don't have any skinny tired vehicles. Okay, so may have to lease that, because that was my bad, guys. I should have been paying attention. I forgot that the weeds are a thing. Let's see, I need a small tractor. Customize with narrow tires. Oh, okay, that kind of sucks. Cheapest tractor is actually more. You know what? I bet you I can probably just customize one of the ones that I have. Let's see what that would cost. Probably one of these. Okay, let's. No. There we go. Let's bring this to the shop, because I probably am going to have to take out a loan just to get the weeder itself. But how is everyone doing this evening? I myself had a longer day than normal. Those of you that had been in TeamSpeak and everything kind of know that both my kids had been sick, and my wife is still kind of getting over it, and I thought I was kind of in the clear, because I've got a pretty good immune system. I hardly ever get sick, but when I do, it's like I'm out. You know, it's like it's it's not that, you know, people kind of make jokes about the man cold where you get the slightest cold and then you're acting like it's the end of the world. But I legitimately, like, when I get sick, it's like I'm bedridden. The last time I got sick was about 4 years ago, and it was like a flu. Like, I couldn't keep anything down. And it was right around Christmas, but I had just recently started working at the place that I do now. I was still kind of in my probational time, where basically they just get rid of you, you know, for whatever reason. But luckily that did not happen. But yeah, it was about 4 years ago. So you know, all my both my daughters had gotten it, and it was weird. Is like, you know, the oldest one got it one day. She was, you know, throwing up, and then my younger one got it right after that, and, you know, the next day, and then the day after that, you know, my wife got it, and it's kind of been lingering around with her for, you know, a couple days. And then I kind of got it a little, you know, a little bit, I guess, starting Saturday. Well, I guess it would have been Sunday morning about 2 o'clock. I started feeling it, you know. I just was actually streaming with some friends, and, you know, got done, and back was just kind of hurting. Just kind of felt stiff, you know. Just, it wasn't like I was feeling sick. It was just like, you know, maybe I honestly felt like I was just tired. You know, it's just kind of the last few days I had been getting less sleep because with my wife, generally the way it works is with my wife, with the kids going to, oh, hello Heather, welcome in. With my kids, generally one of us will get up, because of my work schedule. The days off that I have are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So generally one of us will get up on Saturday, or wow, we'll get up Thursday with them, and then the other one will get up Friday. That way we can kind of break it up a little bit. That way she's not getting up with them every day of the week, and she can actually sleep in as well. So, okay. So we wanted to customize, see if we couldn't put skinnies on here. Okay. That's not bad, 1,000. So we customize that. And then we do need some kind of sprayer. So let's see what they have. But generally one of us gets up one day, and then we switch off the next day. You know what? These are not set up right. I need to change that. Where is it here? There is a way to... Oh, let's see. There's a way to... There it is. Okay. I think that's right. Now, I think if I let off the gas, it'll still... Okay, there we go. So I actually need to get some kind of sprayer. I guess that'd be under implements here. Is that crop protection? Yeah, okay. Ooh, do we go that far right away? I guess let's see what we can do as far as our finances, because that's kind of... I mean, that's going to be useful if we do get that regardless. We'll probably just go to 50. And then we need to actually buy it because we need to make sure we have enough for the actual herbicide as well. And buy. And then we need pallets. Nope, wrong one. Ah, okay. Let's see how much that gets us, because with the fields that we have, I would imagine that I'm not going to need a whole lot. It's, you know, 1 or 2 passes down each one should pretty much get everything. Okay, yeah, and that actually fills it completely up. So now the long drive. But yeah, everyone's kind of gotten sick, but it wasn't enough where I, you know, had to stay home from work, but you know, just kind of stomach rumbles and everything else. So, you know, had to take some stuff to kind of calm the stomach down. And I was kind of up, you know, once or twice last night, just overall not feeling very comfortable. But you know, got into work. Didn't have that rough of a day. We got a new piece of machinery in that everyone's kind of learning, and normally on Sundays is our big cleaning day. And with this new unit, I didn't exactly know how we were going about cleaning it, so it was kind of a learning experience. They kind of gave us what the machine is it basically spins oil out of the solids that kind of show up, because where I work there's a lot of chicken stuff that comes in, and so that wastewater is rich in oil. We actually sell that to out to a company, and they turn it into like biodiesel and stuff. So we're one of the few waste plants that will actually make money throughout the year, as opposed to being in a deficit the entire time. But the machine we use is also used for like spinning grapes. Like when you make wine, it'll get all the, you know, pieces of the grape, but it'll spin the juice out. But since we actually put sludge through it and spin the oil out, then it, you know, it definitely needs to be cleaned a lot more than it, you know, someone's just processing, you know, grapes. So today was the, you know, big cleaning day, and they gave us a sheet of, okay, when you're cleaning it, you know, you need this amount of flow going into it, and you need to turn it down to this setting, and you know, move different pieces to a certain position. But on the day that they actually installed it, they kind of went through a walkthrough of, okay, this is how you start it up, and then when they came to the cleaning part, they really didn't cover it because we were in such a hurry to get the machine up. Because when we didn't have that machine up, we're actually sitting there sending all of it to ground tanks, and the ground tanks that it was going to was actually like super full, so it was actually becoming an issue. Oh geez, this was a lot lot bigger than I thought it was. Yeah, that's almost like the entire field the long way. But we actually need to make sure we get rid of these weeds, because if we don't, that will actually affect our harvest. Well, let's get over to the edge here. probably just continuing up to the next field because it just seems simpler. Oh, but this field looks like it's actually a little bit higher. But as you can see, there is the crop in the field currently. If we didn't have the skinny tires, this game actually has crop destruction in it now. So if we go through the field after the growth stage 1, which this is probably about 2 or 3, it'll actually destroy some of the crop. So we'll get less on the return, and especially when you're starting out, like, you pretty much have to get every little bit. Here we go. Now, I think last time we were actually trying to figure out kind of what we were going to do, because there's a lot of talk about kind of getting in like the animals. This one you can actually do horses and pigs. The chickens in this one, I don't know how much different they are as far as price wise for like the chicken eggs, but in 17 you just automatically had chickens and you could buy more, but there wasn't really a big payoff, but you didn't have to do anything. All you basically did is you showed up to the chicken pen every once in a while, and there were eggs there. So, but in this one you actually have to feed them and everything else. So it does cost a little bit more money, but like I said, I don't know if it's worth it in the end. I do know that on the server that I play on, they have, I guess they have some horses on there now. We were doing a lot of grinding this weekend, putting work in to get the money for one of the fields. And I guess they put in a lot more time today, because I believe John was actually streaming until they were able to purchase the field. So unless he continued to stream after that and got all the way to where they were unlocked and they purchased the pins and everything, they must have put in a lot, put in the work today to finish that out. So I know before I got in here, I was talking with some of the guys on there, and they were already starting to train some of the horses, because I guess you got to ride them like an hour a day, or an hour in game per day to kind of get their stats up. And you got to do that for 10 days in a row until they get up to their max price point, and then you can sell them. Which I've been told you get about 50,000 per horse. Now we do play that one on the higher difficulty, so I don't know if that is entirely true, Or maybe that's just what it was for like the lower difficulties. But so there's a lot of avenues to kind of pursue in the aspect of animals in this game. It's different, it's different from 17, but uh, the one thing that I am actually kind of waiting for is to see if I guess they're called factories. Is the way the term that it was used on 17. They basically had different factories that you could get, and it used the products that you already made, like the milk or the wheat. You brought that stuff to those factories, and those factories would make goods. And then they even had ones like you had to bring stuff that one factory made to another factory to make something else, and in turn you got money, which is how the world works. So I mean it makes sense, but they haven't really incorporated that into the main game. It's pretty much you farm or you plant stuff, and then once it's ready, you sell it. You just sell the product outright. You don't really see anything after that, so it's pretty much one or the other. Animals or fields, I mean. But with those factories, it does add a little bit of an extra to the game. When I was playing 17, I did have I didn't have a lot of mods, but the mods that I had were more like vehicles. When you play on a server, there's certain things you always tended to need. Some of them were bigger capacity tippers, and you kind of wanted some that would unload a little bit faster, would hold a little bit more. And those are fine, but they're not really what I'm into. I like the different mods that kind of add a little more realism to the game. Like on my single players, I would use some of that stuff, but most of the time I think about the only real vehicle mod that I think I used was like the loading wagons. They don't really have a huge capacity, the regular in-game ones. So I did use a modded one that did have a higher carrying capacity. But I haven't even really gotten to that point on this one yet. So, but I do try to play games as close to what the developer originally designed it at. There's a little couple tweaks here and there that you can kind of do to make it better, but overall, I like enjoying the game the way it was made. But now when you get into single player, when you get out of single player, you almost need to have those mods. When you get to the point where you have, you can kind of see the map here. We do have these fields here for right now. But when you get to the point where you have these bigger fields, and if you have other people on there to, while you're harvesting this, if they've got to run somewhere else, like if they've got to run down to wherever your storage is, like if we kept it here, I think we got an actual silo. They have to run it from there all the way down to here. That's going to take some time. So you almost have to have a higher capacity for that trailer. That way you're making less trips. But I think looks like there is a couple spots that I missed, but maybe that is... I didn't do a real good job with the fertilizer and everything when I was planting. I kind of goofed a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Now, let's see. No, it looks like we should be able to get that, because that is indeed weeds. We're about halfway down the field, so... Let's get down here so that we don't waste too much. No, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there was a little patch, like, I guess right on the edge of the field that we were not hitting. Okay, and then we have a little pass kind of in the middle here. I think it was like right in between the different, where the sprayer was at. I think we just veered a little bit north and south and just kind of missed a little bit in the middle. And it actually looks like we're only going to get one stage on here. You know, I'm going to try fertilizing again, because I think as long as you let it pass into another growth stage, I think you can go out there and re-fertilize. And with having the skinny tires, I won't have to worry about the crop destruction. So let's do a test and find out. Because I made the mistake when I was first planting them. You basically have to be able to change the texture. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Sweet. And we should be able to knock this out pretty quick before everything is grown. But no, what I did earlier, I had the one tractor and I was trying to see if I could fertilize before I planted. And I had forgot the fact that my planter actually fertilizes. So since it fertilizes, I basically have to plant and then wait a growth stage to put it down. You have to have something that gets rid of the fertilization texture. And now that the plants are actually grown, that texture is kind of gone, so that's why I'm able to re-fertilize everything. So like when I fertilize, if I had gone through originally and fertilized and then had to cultivate, that would work, because I would get the one stage there, it would change, and then I could go back and just plant, and I wouldn't have to worry about coming back in the fields after they were grown, which is probably what I'll do in the future now that I'm kind of aware of it. But since most of the fields were already, I think I had to harvest one and the rest were already, they were either cultivated already, one of them I think was, but the rest I had to cultivate. And I think I don't know if I had the fertilizer before I was done cultivating. I think I basically went through, cultivated, and then went back. Okay, yeah. Leaving stuff in the field. Okay, it doesn't look like it damaged anything, so we're lucky there. And you can see some of these fields, I mean, I don't have to do 26 because that's where I figured it out, but 24 and 25 is where I was really messing around with stuff, because I had the fertilizer on the front and then the seeder on the back, which I guess doesn't work, guys, because you have to be able to get rid of that texture to begin with. So I guess I could plant and then fertilize after maybe. So I could still have them on the vehicle. Just I can't do them the way that I was trying. I gotta make sure I plant first. Let's see. Yeah, and then looks like just this corner here. Yeah, it's good enough. And then 25, we kind of got a path right in the middle here. I mean, we got like a small spot right in the middle there, but I don't think it's not really worth going back for. So we can go ahead and start our fast time back up. We already had the cultivator over here, so just need to kind of get our trailer in position. Put that there. Oh, I guess I should probably dump this into storage at the very least, because I don't think it's the same thing as what I planted. I kind of think it was canola that we harvested, and I think we put like wheat down. Well, it was wheat. So what did we plant then? Okay, it does look like we just planted more wheat, so that's good. We'll have a little more crop. And how are our wheat prices looking? Oh, they're still kind of going up. We'll go ahead and put this in the middle. That way we don't have a whole lot of moving around. And our fields just pop, so we are good. Turn the fast time back down. And the restaurant is still going up, so that's pretty good. Whoa. Over 1,000 at the ranch. Where's that ranch compared to where we're at? Yeah, it's a little bit of a haul, but I think we can manage that. Right at the beginning, I don't like to really hold on to product, because you kind of Dom Toretto with the tier 1 sub, sir. Thank you very much. Let's see, 6 months of 6 months of doing what I say already. Glad to be part of your streams. Can't wait to see your channel grow, or where the channel goes. Thank you very much, sir. And I don't tell you what to do. That's like the ridiculous ongoing joke. I have several times said, if you like, do such and such, but I don't make anyone do anything, Dom. I mean, if that was the case, I would use that power for much more than going to someone else's channel. How are you doing, Dom? I have not made you do anything, Dom. I'm doing all right, Dom. I'm doing all right. You know, just I'm not sure if you heard, but pretty much everyone in the house kind of went through I don't want to say flu type things, but that's probably the closest thing I can say without going in too much detail. Uh, and I started getting some of the symptoms like Sunday morning, or well, no, today's Sunday, Saturday morning, right after John's stream. I was up streaming with him, and then I kind of got done. It was like, man, I was really wore out. Body felt all tight, and then the next morning I woke up, just was not feeling the best. Not to the point that Heather was, but you know. But then went to work today and actually had a pretty decent day. So what about you? What have you been up to today? What have you been doing while I've been just slaving away at work? I should either keep that on the field. Oh, come on, guys. In this area, these heads are like just sticking. It's weird. A lot of I know a lot of the bigger headers are having issues with, like, they get stuck in the ground, but even the small one they're getting caught on these fields. So I really do hope that is something that they do plan to fix in a future patch of the game. Because I don't remember if I played 17. No, I did play 17 pretty much right from the start, and I don't remember the headers really getting stuck on anything. Oh, this is actually... There we go. We'll do that because we don't actually have a trailer right now that can pick up straw. So, I mean, it's just wasted, really. So rather than having to worry about it going off the edge of the field, we'll just not put it down. It's not going to do anything. Just chilling and hanging out. Yeah. I hear you there, Dom. I hear you. Now, were you in John's stream at all last night? Because I heard something happen in his stream. Just don't know if you know about it. You don't want to work tomorrow? I don't either, Dom. I don't either. See, the weather around here, or the weather today was kind of windy and cold, and I just have a feeling that tomorrow's going to be worst. Pick you, you know? Well, I should hope that you know, considering you're the one that is involved in it. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. But I don't know. Should we keep Dom in suspense? Should we make him show up for Well, if you're having to ask, then you definitely didn't see. Yeah, she got her sword last night, and it was weird because oh, you did see that? Okay, yeah. I had to cut out early, just so that I could you know, get to bed at a decent time. With not feeling sick, I didn't know if I was going to be up at all in the middle of the night, so I did. I think I did stay on till about 11 because John took his break and then I came back afterwards. And I I think it was pretty close to 11 when I got off of here. But nothing had happened, and then I woke up, in the middle of the night, had to go to the bathroom, and came out here and saw that all the lights were still on. Heather hadn't been to bed, and it was like 3. So I came out here, or went out. Excuse me, went out to the living room, and I think it was the first thing she said was that she got the sword. So it's pretty awesome. But it's also I think well deserved because I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on that she's kind of keeping track of, and even in even in like in TeamSpeak and stuff, she tries to keep things under control. She doesn't have moderation for that, but uh, there were a lot of times that she would stay up in that top channel while John is streaming because he always has those people coming in, and they just didn't know where to go to get to the actual live channel. So she would kind of direct them as they were coming in. So I mean, she would be watching the stream, be doing that, working on something else. So I'm really glad that he gave her the sword. I think it's awesome. Oh, looks like we almost got one done. Well, did you hear that I banned someone from In the Shadows? Wait, what? I mean, I didn't hear that, but I don't know what that means either. I mean, were you just lurking and saw something and just banned them, or? Ah. Wait, was it just a troll? Well, they really shouldn't. I mean, there are those moderators that are real active in chat, but I mean they don't need to be active all the time. And especially, I know there's some mods that's exactly what they do. They're there just to moderate everything, and they're not. Mods aren't necessarily required to be active in chat. That's what the chat's for. But if if you have multiple mods, you can have some that are lurking all the time, and you have others that are keeping things rolling in chat. So, oh yeah. See, and I've never understood that. you know? Like I guess I'm guilty of that to a point, but it's the closest I ever get to like self promoting is I might tell someone that I'm a streamer, but I don't tell them my channel or anything like that. And I guess it's kind of obvious, like whatever the stream name is, but I don't know. I definitely try not to self promote, and it's not like a lot of people that are trying to self promote. It's like it's the first time in your chat, you know. So they come in, they don't even say hi. They just try to self promote, and then that's it. If you have a if you have a community that you're building, even if you don't have a huge community, seeing that link, no one's gonna go to there. Yeah, I don't understand how people can think, oh, just because I'm posting my link somewhere that people are gonna click on it. It doesn't work that way. You know? Hey, check out my channel and here's the link. Well, they don't know anything about you. They don't know what kind of things you stream. They have no investment or reason to click on that link. Oh, I'm sure he was new to Twitch. I mean, I guess that depends on the streamer, There are streamers that don't have any issues with promoting other people's channels, but they definitely have to get like I said, there's no reason for anyone to go to your channel if they just, hey, here's my page, If you spent time in the community and people kind of recognize you or know you, then that's a different story, But I mean, yeah, the fact that he was new to Twitch, it has nothing to do with being new to Twitch. Any streaming platform, you're gonna run into that. So whether he used to be on Mixer or something else, that might be why he switched, because he wasn't getting people to his channel or whatever. But if that's the way he was going about getting people to his channel, it's just bad moves. Did you see the I mean, you said you had to ban him. I'm kind of curious because I'm not actually a moderator for any channels, but one of the things that I guess that came out of TwitchCon, which was a couple months back now, they were talking about whenever you ban someone now, they were gonna make it. There was gonna be like a record. You were basically gonna have to fill out, or there was gonna be a record. So like if you banned him or whatever, and then for some reason he came back in the channel, there would be that record of that person being banned. And I guess the big question is, well, it's something that you would have to fill out. Like, you basically put notes in there. It's not real clear exactly how they're doing it and whether or not it's just going to be channel specific or if it's going to be Twitch wide. Because there's a podcast that I listened to, and they both had different views on it. Because I mean, Twitch is a business, right? So most of the things they do on Twitch is kind of geared towards like their top their top guys, like your ninjas and your Tim the Tatmans. They've got so many people in their chat that they're gonna have a bunch of moderators, and people may be banned for a short amount of time and then be able to come back. They're not like permaban, so they need to have some kind of record of one of them being banned before and what the reason was. And some people were saying, well, that would be a good idea if it was Twitch wide. But there's a lot of channels that will just ban someone just to be funny, and then they'll unban them. But they're almost afraid that, well, if that's the case, if there's going to be a permanent record, that could cause an issue. But I mean, I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they do it. Or if it is indeed a Twitch wide thing, or if it's just per channel. But I guess I'm kind of weird about it. Like, if you get banned from a channel, like, I don't know. There's almost a... I would think that if you get banned from a channel, that's kind of it, It shouldn't be like, oh, you were banned for 1 week, Because nothing's stopping them from being in the channel, right? They just can't chat or anything. Or can they just not get in at all? Because my thought is if they did something severe enough to get banned, you don't really need them in the channel, It's gonna just encourage toxicity. Pipe out. Wow, I think I got a lot more yield off of this one. Nope, wrong vehicle. Come on. So how much time have you been putting into Farm Sim Nerd? Like I said, I'd been putting in a fair amount in John's server, trying to we were grinding, trying to get those horses and everything else. Unfortunately today I had to work, so I wasn't able to. I guess they streamed last night. John said he was actually going to stream until he bought the field, but I don't know if he bought the field and kept going, or if they just didn't quite get there. I mean, if they didn't get it last night, they definitely got it today because they were in the server riding horses around. So you haven't been nodded a lot actually, huh? Yeah, I guess I kind of go in streaks. I almost I'm normally playing a game almost nonstop while on the days that I'm off. Unless there's something else going on. But it's weird. As much as I like playing this game, it's on like the. I get off of work on Wednesdays. Depending on the week, uh, I'll either have something going on that night or not. Because I do go play D&D on every other Wednesday. This past week, it was actually a week that we played. So I basically go to that Wednesday, and that runs until about 10 at night. So on Wednesdays, I sometimes I get on to play, and sometimes I don't. But then normally Thursdays I'm on most of the day. Friday I'm on most of the day. And then when it comes to Saturday, it's almost like I'm a little burnt out on playing it. So I mean, I have other videos and stuff I watch too. So it's a weird balancing act of trying to play and not really get burnt out. It, and I think the other reason is just from streaming it as well. I mean, I haven't streamed this game a whole lot, but I mean, if you think about it, I've got 4 hours that I play something on at least on Sunday and Monday, and then Thursday, depending on what I'm playing, I normally go for fair amount of time. This past Thursday, I wanted to go a lot longer than I did because we had a lot of people showing up and new game. Like it was a lot going on in chat. But with Heather not feeling well, I kind of needed to make sure that the kids had gotten something to eat and were getting ready for school because they still had school and everything. But on a typical Thursday, I guess I start at 3, and that goes for I don't know, probably 5 hours most of the time. So I mean that's 9 hours throughout the week that I'm streaming something, and then all that time when I'm not streaming that I'm on here. I don't know, Dom. I think I think I got a problem. Oh, but no, it's kind of. I guess that's really how I unwind. I put in the 42 hours in 4 days, and I get home and I don't really want to do anything. So that kind of helps me unwind. And then about Saturday, that's when I'm I guess recharged. Oop, reap what you sow achievement. Yeah, I'm unlocking all. I've put in. Oh, let's see. I've put in 74 hours in the past 2 weeks, guys. Right, and I'm just now unlocking those first achievements of harvesting. So harvesting a certain amount and driving a certain amount. But most of the time that I've been playing is all been on on the multiplayer server. So, I mean, I haven't even looked to see what the achievements are on this one. I know on the first one you actually got achievements for like going in the negatives, which I never understood why. You would have thought that that's the exact opposite of what you would want for an achievement. Oh, come on. Now we're getting a really good haul out of this. Out of these fields. Because pretty much every field I've had to empty. Well, I guess those 2 fields, and then this one I'll be almost full. And then 19 is about 2 fields again, so I'm going to have a lot in store. And I'll be able to make multiple trips to sell it because the price doesn't really drop in this one. Like 17, you'd sell it, and then it'd plummet almost immediately after you sell it. This one, 19, it actually takes a fair amount of time for it to drop. Exactly, Heather, exactly. I mean, the other thing is it work, or is it just stuff outside of work? Ooh, you have a week off? Like you're is it you're taking vacation? Because well, no, because that's not quite Christmas. That's like a week or 2 before, right? Yeah. So, I mean, is it time off that you're taking, or is it just like where you work? This is the time that they allot for you to take time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm kind of in the situation where that's not really a thing. Uh, we have. Oh, come on. There we go. With our shifts the way they are, we have 2 workers per shift. So our shifts are actually Sunday morning, so 7 to 7, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday they are until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's how we get our 42 hours. And then there's a shift that comes in at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, and then they work until 7 o'clock. So they have the 6 hour and then 3 12s. And then on nights, it's the same thing, it's just, 7 at night till 7 in the morning. All the other shifts right now, they have 2 people. Except for me, the guy that I normally work with, he's actually out on like medical. He's Hey, Ryan, how has it been? I think it's been over 2 months now, maybe even 3, and they're saying he's the earliest he would even be back isn't until like March. So because of that, I mean, we do have a manager and a lead, but the the or I guess supervisor. I don't know. You use whatever term you'd like, but we have the main boss of our plant, and then kind of like a guy that's a lead or a float. He is supposed to cover shifts that someone else can't, but he also does most of the stuff that the boss would normally do. I don't know. It's like weird. When I first started, he was doing a lot of stuff where he was trying to become like a supervisor for a plant, and he would go on all these interviews and never got hired. So I guess he kind of got fed up, and he's like, I'm no longer, even going on any interviews or anything like that unless I'm getting, X amount. And so I haven't really seen him do any since. But he's kind of like the lead between all the shifts. So because of that, if someone can't come in, he comes in and fills that slot. But I guess I'm one of the more kind of competent. I guess that's the way to put it. I don't. My background for the most part, working background is I was in the military for 12 years. So I didn't have an issue with working late because you got paid X amount. Well, now that I'm not getting the salary, it's a wage. If I put in more hours, I get more pay, and the company doesn't like that. But I don't have a problem putting in that extra time if need be. Or if there's like new things going on that we kind of need to learn or get situated, I don't have a problem doing that. And it seems like some of the other workers there, they get pushback from. So in that aspect, I guess it seems like they trust me a little bit more than anyone else. I mean, I hear them from time to time complain about different things from other shifts, and maybe they do the same thing on their shifts about me or whatever. But I just don't get that vibe. When I first started, yeah, but I think it was kind of like my transition going from military to civilian. I didn't I have a big issue with doing something just for the sake of doing it. I want to know why I'm doing something because that's how I learn. And as weird as that may seem military wise, that I would, if they were telling me to do something, yeah, I would do it, but I would also want to know why. So if time permitted, I would get an explanation. So that's how I learn things. I have to know the reasons why, and then it kind of helps me remember things more. And when I started, it was like, no, just do this or just do that. And then something would happen that would contradict that, and then they would tell you, no, just do this. So it was very confusing. And now that I kind of understand a lot of it, that doesn't happen anymore. They wouldn't fully explain something, and I guess maybe that's more of a civilian kind of mentality, because from my experience, the big value that was kind of drove into my head in the military was you are not doing your job unless you train everyone underneath you to do your job. If you were for some reason gone and they could not do what you do, you're not doing it right. You should be preparing everyone below you to be able to fill in if something happens. So I've always kind of had that mentality once, because it makes sense. Because if someone's out sick or whatever, and this one person is responsible for this thing, and no one else knows how to do it, well, it's not like everything's just going to stop until that one person gets back. You got to push on. So you need to learn or at least know what's going on. And it's almost like civilian life is kind of flipped. A lot of them try to hold on to that information because they think that's more of a job security. Like, oh, if I'm the only one that knows how to do this, then they're not going to get rid of me. Well, no, I mean they'll if they're going to get rid of you, they're going to get rid of you. They'll find a way. I mean, they can always train someone else to do what you do, or they'll fire you anyways, and that person just has to learn on the fly. So it's sticking. It was a weird mentality to try and kind of break through. But I think now that I've worked there long enough, a lot of them kind of get it and see the fact that if something else or something new is brought in and has to be done, I don't sit there and complain about, oh, why do we have to do this, or we never did this before. I just, okay, show me what I need to do and I do it. I think I give the least amount of pushback. So they have a little bit more trust in me. And then there's other situations like this past week. I've mentioned we had this construction going on where we had this new unit put in. And it does all of our heat for this machine it's through a boiler, right? And the boilers are set up automatically, so whenever they start to get low to a certain point, it calls a pump on. Well, we were having issues with one of them. It was continually alarming out, saying that it was low water, and me being by myself, I didn't always have the opportunity. Whoa. I'm losing crop. What happened? I mean, I know I'm full, but it didn't even... Like, it should have stopped. It should have pulled my header up and everything. But it was still rolling. But this past week, I didn't have the opportunity to kind of figure out what was going on. And it was the first week of getting that machine started up, so that was really the focus. Well, then last Sunday when I came in, it's like, okay, it was already shut down because it was the weekend after Thanksgiving, and waste plants, or our waste plant, doesn't get a whole lot during that time because all of our water comes from the main plant. Since they weren't processing, they weren't sending us anything. So that gave me ample time to kind of get everything that I normally get done, and then it alarmed out again, saying that it was in a low water situation. It's like, there's got to be something wrong with it. So I actually, being by myself, I pulled this pump apart and found that there was an obstruction in the pipe going into the pump. So it was restricting flow into the pump, which means the pump was sending less out. It's like, okay, got that cleared out, and then it seemed to work fine. Well, we weren't using as much steam as we normally do on that day, so the next day when we started really needing that steam demand, we were using that, the boiler more, and it went into a low level alarm again. So again, I took it apart that whenever I had the opportunity to, and found out that the the bottom part of the pump is like a cylinder shaped, and it had rings on the bottom, and it got all the way down in the impeller, and the impeller is what actually slings the water. Well, it wasn't spinning like it was supposed to. Sometimes it would spin, and then other times it would stop, and it just was not acting like it was supposed to. And they had just put that pump in. We were having issues with the previous one. They put a new pump in. Like a contractor came in while they were putting in that new machine. Put it in, they didn't really have, there was nowhere that they could, they needed steam, and they actually had a bunch of the steam lines apart, so it was more of a safety issue to test those pumps, but they knew that they at least worked. And we didn't find out until after everything was back up and running that it was still, we still had the same issue. And when I pulled that pipe apart, like it wasn't like a full clog. It was almost like something was layered in there in a certain way that would still allow the water to go through, just not as it. I mean, it was obstructed. There was no way the amount of water that needed to be pushed through it could get there because of that obstruction. So like I said, I figured that out, and then the next day, let the boss know. Like, I actually called him that on, but I mean, I let them know, hey, this is what's going on. They had someone come out and look at it, and they basically told us, yeah, that the pump is screwed up. It looks like something got in there and kind of tore it up. And they weren't sure if it was going to be covered because it was a brand, like it should have been under warranty, but it was a weird situation because they didn't know exactly what caused it. And then I guess while I was, like the next day, which was like the last day, they had actually took the pump back to their company, and they looked at it even, looked at it more. And yeah, basically what happened is that the pump cavitated, which, for those of you that don't know what cavitation is, oh, is my face shiny? Oh, I got to see this then. Oh, that's not that bad. No, I actually, the other day, I went in there and kind of messed with the settings a little bit. So I did get it a little bit better. But I actually, you know what? I actually need to move this because no one can actually see the map to the game. Okay, there we go. Now I'm not blocking the map, so those of you that want to see it can see it. Well, you know what, Dom? You can always send me a diamond. I mean, I'm not picky. But they took that pump back to their place, and found out it was cavitating. And cavitating basically is when the inlet runs out of water. It's kind of like running a pump dry. It's trying to pull your pipe going into a pump is generally going to be bigger than the water supply is going to be bigger than what the pump actually needs. And that's so you don't get air in the pump, because when those pumps are running, the pieces in there, if there's air in there, it basically does like little kind of like, they say explosions, but it's not really explosions. It's just like popping basically. And that damages the inside of any pump. You can actually pull like bigger pumps out, and if they've been run dry, like on the impeller, there's actually little divots in it, and it is from not having enough water or enough supply of whatever you're pumping go to it. So they pulled this one apart and found out that that's what was the cause of it, and I didn't know about this, but I got into work today. Was going through my emails for the week, and the boss had actually sent out, an email, and it was, hey, I'm saying it nicer than it actually was, but he basically said, that this is what happened to this pump, and it should have been something that was caught, and he was, pointing out me. I was the only one that had even done anything about it, but by the time I found it, it was too late. So it was more of a, hey, if there's something wrong, we need to jump on it and get it fixed so that this doesn't happen again. So I mean, it's a bunch of little things like that, and especially the fact that I'm like by myself and I was still getting that other stuff done. Kind of shows you that I guess I don't want to say that I'm a little more dependable, but it seems that way. Especially with the way he talks about some of the other guys. But like I said before, that may be that's the way he talks when I'm around, and maybe when I'm not around, he talks the same way to other guys, just bad mouth other shifts. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, bottom line, me working by myself, I shouldn't have been the one that found that, especially with as much time as there was in between when it first started happening and when I was able to get a chance to look at it. Because there's a bunch of checks that we have to do hourly and everything else. And when you're working by yourself, where I work, if there's nothing broken, there is very little time in between doing the checks. And then if something breaks, you're basically behind the entire time. If you have someone that you're working with and everything's running fine, you actually have, time to do stuff in between the checks. And then if something's broke, generally one person will take care of whatever it is that broke, and the other person is taking care of the check. So it's, you never get behind. So that is the big thing that I think he's kind of pointing out. Is like, look, I shouldn't have been the one that tore that apart and found it. It should have been someone else. Especially with me working on my own. Ooh, looks like we're getting close. Hopefully the rest of this will fit in here. I mean, it's going to be close. Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it. Especially since the end down here is a little bit wider. I'll be getting more the further down here I get. Yep, 5,600. Oh. Okay, let's get that trailer over here quick. And yes, I know I left the combine running, but this should be real quick. Because I just need to get enough unloaded to get to the end. Because what is actually in the combine I may not be able to get it completely unloaded into the trailer anyways. Okay. That should be enough to pick up what is remaining on the field here. Oh, come on. Alright, the field is done. That's completely legit, right, guys? just dumping over the side. Yeah. Okay. Well, looks like nope, we want to leave that out. And we can go dump this and finish. We should probably see where the best price is. I know it was the restaurant was the best place at the time. But that may have changed. So let's unload real quick and then we'll just go sell all of this because that should be some pretty decent money, especially if it is was 1,000, over 1,000 earlier, and that's what I think that's the second or third trailer we've dumped in there. I think it's pretty close to 3 because we had a partial load to begin with, and then I think we've done at least 2 trailers, and then this is another partial, so it's got to be pretty close to 3 full trailers. While that is unloading, let's see where our prices are at. Oh yeah, the ranch is actually going down a little bit, so we may want to get up there. That's a decent drive away, but it does still have the best price, but it is currently dropping. And I should probably take a different tractor because this one is not as, it doesn't have as much horsepower. Let's see which one, because the thing is with those weight with the wheat and any crop in the trailers, like it takes. These are pretty much the same, so we just need to pick one. The weight basically matters. If you don't have a tractor with enough horsepower, it's not gonna pull it. And then Especially if you get on a hill. Oh, God. I mean, and even the other tractors I have, they're not the best anyways, but they're better than yes, the wheat. And then we need to figure out ranch. I think our best, well, we can try going through here. I just don't know if it'll be faster. You know what? We can take this road here. It's probably going to be faster than this snake turn stuff here. And unfortunately, this is the only tipper that I have. Oh. We have it on the back right now. That'll work. And now I guess the question from here is, do we go all the way around? Okay, yeah, this, if we stay on the pavement here, it'll actually lead us back to the main road. I wasn't sure if it left us, like if it just ran to the fields and that was it and didn't go all the way through or not, so trying to do this a little more legit. I mean, we'll see how long that lasts, right, guys? I know that right here the cliffs running different crop from the fields here in the server. I just right off the cliff, just go for it. I mean, it's faster that way. I mean, it doesn't cause damage to the vehicle, so I mean, if it did, I probably wouldn't. But it does not cause any damage, so we are good there. Now, picking up a little speed now that we're on the top of the hill. And I am curious to see how much we get for this. So, because I'm doing this may actually get us enough to kind of repay the loan that we took out. And thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated. Welcome on in. Just doing a little bit of farming tonight. And how are you doing? Alright, let's see here. We have, let's say 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, that's not bad. It 9. Oh, I forgot that it counts it for you. 9,000 for one trailer load. So, oh, you're doing the same thing. Yeah, I've been putting in a decent amount of hours. I'm sitting right around what I say, like 70. Yeah, 75 hours. On top of a full-time job, so I'm putting in the hours. Most of it is in a multiplayer server, but oh, did you Did you transfer money over? Or do you do? Did you do a money mod on yours? Or have you just been putting that much time into it? I know there were a couple got. Whoop! Did I miss my turn? Didn't I? Yeah, I'm going right. Oh, I guess we'll do the long way. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, oof. I mean, I guess I could, but man, I'd be on it like constantly because I work 12-hour shifts, and on those days it's just like I get home and I'm just beat. A couple hours to get home, spend some time with the family, and then I'm pretty much heading to bed after that. So with moving and oh god, I I wouldn't have been able to do four. Me and my wife, we were trying for a third, and unfortunately, uh, she had a miscarriage, and we didn't try again after that. And a lot of it was we were wanting to. Right now, I've got two girls. We were trying for a boy. That way, we had a son, and so the the baby that she actually lost was a boy. I think, pretty sure it was, or maybe we just I don't remember. I think I always thought it was, but I don't know if we ever got to the point where they could tell the sex. Oh no, it's no problem. It's just it's I kind of look at it as a blessing in disguise, kind of. I mean, I know that's kind of weird saying it that way, but our oldest girl is 12. The youngest one is 9. So we were at that point where I think she was 5 or 6, so she was out of the house. She was already uh, in in school, so we were kind of at that point where we were starting to get some of the freedom back to go, be able to go out and do things. And then, although we wanted another, we were trying for a boy. We were basically starting all over. And I don't know, we kind of talked about it for a while afterwards, and I guess there's a time period that once, like, if you have miscarried, they basically recommend going. I thought it was like a year without getting pregnant, and then my wife actually had some medical things, and that was part of it. And then by the time all of that was done and taken care of, it was like it was even starting further back. I think at that time, by the time all that was done, the youngest one was 6 or 7. I think 7 was in first grade. It was like, man, we'd be going starting way over again. And honestly, I don't think I'd be doing this if we did have another one, because they would be about 3. I don't know that. I can't see how people manage having more than 2 kids. I just don't. My uncle, he was actually of our family. He has about half the kids for our family. So yeah, and that is the. I guess that's kind of the rub with the whole situation is like, boys are boys are a lot of fun, especially when you are a guy. But luckily, my girl, the oldest, she is actually pretty similar to me. I mean, she's not like into sports because I'm not really into sports, but there are just so many things that she does that are completely me, you know. But then there are, obviously there's things that she does that are like her mom, I mean, she is a girl, so she's a little more sensitive and everything else. And but I mean, you're gonna get that with guys too. So, but I mean, it's like a constant joke where she does something that is either something I've done or is just something that I could see myself have been or have done at her age. So as much as it sucks having not having a boy, I mean she kind of makes up for it. She Oh no, you're fine, Heather. You're fine. Okay, and I'm not trying to be uh I guess not sensitive about that, but I mean at 10. Yeah, yeah, no, uh she's on here quite a bit. It's pretty awesome. I mean, sometimes she's the only one in my chat, and other times just I've got a lot of people, but it's just yeah, you do game as much as me do, but different games. She plays a lot of like Farm Together, which is oh I can't think of what it was called, but it was kind of like the Facebook games where you go in there and you do certain things, and then you would get uh, different resources that you would have to build other things. But it's something similar to that. Uh, Luckily, my wife is a yeah. No, I honestly, my wife has put up with me playing games for a while. Like when we were first married, I was real big into World of Warcraft, and I think I played it for about a year, and then somehow I got her into playing it. I think it was partly because of the group of people we played with. They were real welcoming, and they were made her feel included, and it's almost been like since then. Oh God, do I still have more in there? How much more do I have? Wow, I've still got another six. I've got another 16,000 worth of wheat. Ooh. Yeah, mine. She just get. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's weird. Oh, okay. The butt bot. Yeah, it's all right. First, if it does bother you, can just put type exclamation point, ignore me, and it won't ever repeat you. But I heard about it from a podcast that I listened to. It's kind of helping. It's educational to the point of helping you become a better streamer. And one of them had brought up that they had that bot in their channel, and it basically just repeats. what someone says, but it changes. It just changes words in the sentence, and some of them have actually been pretty funny. It replaces some of the words with the word but there are, some that the podcast is actually okay. I got to remember. It's Stream Key. It is actually put on by. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on the other. You know what? I'm part of their Discord, so let me just look it up quick. But it's a. They do some actual live streams and stuff, but it's through like a gaming company. And I don't know why I can't remember it. Yeah, it's on Apple. It's on. I think you can get it on Google. Okay. True Gaming is the actual company, but they do this podcast. It's called Stream Key, and it is basically people that are streamers. They basically go on there, and some of them, they have guests that are really big streamers, and they have others that are, in the less than 50 viewer count, and it's just them talking about the stuff that's going on in the Twitch verse, and different things that are coming out that are helping or hurting, or I've found that there's a lot of things on there that I wouldn't have thought of. Like it kind of gives you a different point of view, you know. Because I was talking earlier about a wow, I'm just drawing blanks today, guys. I was talking about the Twitch is going to be putting this thing out where whenever you're in a channel, if you get banned, that there's like a record. And some people were like, well, that's awesome, right? And he was saying, well, it depends on how they implement it, because a lot of that stuff, it's on app. Well, it's not. I mean, it's a podcast. So the actual name of the podcast is called Stream Key. But they were talking about this. They're going to be starting to implement Twitches. People, when they get banned, they're going to have like a running record of them, like what was the reason for the ban. And everyone's like, oh, that's, awesome idea. That's, great, because that means whenever they leave, or whenever someone gets banned from one channel, there's going to be a record of it, so that if someone is in another channel, they're going to see it. And it's all speculation because we don't exactly know how they're going to do it. But some of them are saying, well, look, that might just be through one channel, because most of the things that Twitch does is for the bigger streamers, your ninjas, your Tim the Tap Man, all that stuff. So he's thinking that they're just doing it in one channel, or channel wide, because you may ban someone for a week and then they come back, and if there's not a record and you have a bunch of mods, one mod might have banned them but another didn't, and so it gives them more chances of staying in the channel. And at least by having a record, you can get rid of them. But it would be, a lot of people think it's a good idea if it was Twitch wide as well. But some, and this is the part that I didn't really, think about. There's some other streamers that, when I'm in their channel, we're kind of goofing around, and something happens, you kind of make, there's always that joke of, oh, we'll just ban them, or, if someone's doing something you don't like, oh, here comes Banhammer. It's kind of like a running joke. Well, if that was a Twitch wide thing, if you get banned for some, just like a little joke thing, well, that's going to be on your record for any channel. And it may or may not be an issue. Maybe you just do something, or if you come in and saw that, or someone comes in and you've seen that they've been banned before, if it's a certain channels, they might just, well, we don't, if another channel's banned them, we don't want them here either. So I don't know, it's weird, but I had never considered that point of view. And so this podcast does a lot. It kind of brings a different point of view to it, and every week they're kind of doing a review of what actually happened in Twitch, like what announcements they've had, and what they're working on. So it's kind of a informational as well. Yeah, this will probably be my last load here. I do have another, just a little over 8,000 there, but this is going to put me over the 50 that I took out. Let's see. Yeah, and I mean there's another one that you really should look up if you're. I'm assuming you're a little bit newer. There is a YouTuber that's got a bunch of videos that her whole thing is helping streamers stream. Her name is actually it's Ashney Christ. Let me type it in chat. That way you. If you go over to, she's got a bunch of different YouTube videos on different things, like just how to stream better, or the do's and don'ts of, like beginning streamers. She's recently started doing a bunch of viewer of different, I guess, easiest way to put it is, I guess, like a stretch goal. Like, oh, this is what you do if you've got less than 10 viewers. This is the stuff you should be working on. And then once you've gotten that, then the next one is, oh, so you do, okay. Yeah, I actually started listening to a lot of her stuff when I was, I kind of had a weird start on Twitch. I had a computer, and I had been in a community and really started getting this itch to stream, and I only had a laptop at the time. Well, I was like, okay, if I want to do this, I need a desktop, a decent computer. And I got a decent computer and everything else, and I started, but I didn't have the time to put in. I was streaming 1 day a week, and when I first started, it was like I could make an hour, and by the end of it, I was like a nervous wreck. And so every day when it came to streaming, like I desperately wanted to do it, but I got so nervous about it that it wasn't fun. And then something happened with my computer. I think I had the guy that had built it for me. Something had happened with one of the drives, like it got stuck in a boot loop where it was supposed to update, and I guess when it does a Windows update, it downloads certain files, and then it deletes ones, and then it puts those back in it. And if that whole thing where it says do not turn off your computer, well, that's basically what happened. So I was out without my computer for about 2 months. Or, well, I guess it was probably longer than that. And when I got it back, it was like, okay, I need to commit to doing more than just that one day. Oh, so you've been doing about two? Yeah, I think honestly, I've only been doing it from the time I started. It's been about maybe a year from like when I first started it. That when I was doing the one day a week, and shortly after I got my computer back, it was like, okay, I need to commit more time to it. So what I started doing is, like the schedule that I have now, I did it 3 days a week, and I kind of stuck to a couple hours. Like I knew Sunday and Mondays. I had other streamer friends that I didn't want to stream on their schedule because I knew if they were streaming, some of the people that would probably help would be in their stream as opposed to helping in my stream. So just to kind of avoid that, I went on days that they didn't stream, and I did it for maybe a month, and it was like all of a sudden a switch just flipped. I stopped getting nervous about. I think more of it was, well, what if no one shows up? Well, I mean, if someone shows up, great, but if they don't, I still love doing what I'm doing. So I don't need people in my chat to necessarily validate that I'm doing it because I enjoy playing games. That's just the way it is. Now, I think it's more fun when I do have people in the chat. So, excuse me. Like last Thursday, I had a really good stream because I had a lot of people coming in. So, it's just it takes putting yourself out there. I just hate when they come in and watch. And well, here's the thing. And Nancy, welcome in. How are you doing? Dom Toretto. No, the thing that okay, here's the best piece of advice that I can give you. Okay, when you're streaming, do you know how many people are watching you? Like, do you have something that tells you, oh, you have X amount of viewers, or oh, you have so many views? If you do, get rid of it. And hi Nancy, how are you doing today? Because here's the thing. What is it? Best pickle? Yeah. Here's the thing. You should stream as if there are people, and if you are focused on that number, you're gonna be wondering, well, why aren't there people watching me? Or this and that. Granted, if there's people in chat, it is it's better. You have people to bounce off of, and I'm still working on the talking. Like I am actually a pretty introverted person. I'm the type of person, like, unless I have been around someone multiple times, I generally don't even attempt to talk with them. Yeah, well, it's been it's a work in progress. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, when I have people in chat, it's a lot easier. But if there's not, I do struggle because I don't know. The best piece of advice that someone told me is find something about yourself that you can just sit and talk about, and then you talk about that like no one's there. Shut your mouth, Dom. Well, I guess technically I still am a newbie. And thank you very much for that follow. It is appreciated. Oh. See, I'm the guy that hates everyone, but... Well, see, it's finding the right people. I think is what it is. It's not a matter of, you need to find a community that kind of reflects the values and the things that you like. That's the easiest way. It if you enjoy, uh, like, there are people that I know that they are truckers, right? But then when they're not at work, they're playing like American Truck Simulator, or they're playing Euro Truck Simulator. Find something, a game that you really enjoy playing, and kind of, okay. So that so it makes sense. Uh, and this is the weird twist of what the little bit that I figured out about Twitch. If you're going to stream, uh like, if you are just not comfortable streaming, play something that you enjoy, right? It's going to help you uh get those nerves out. Once you get comfortable streaming, whether or not someone's watching or not, just do that just to get the nerves out. And then once you kind of have started working the nerves out, that's when you start playing the games that you might start pulling people from. Like, Rocket League is an awesome game. I've never played it myself, but I can see the appeal. The problem with Rocket League, especially if you're streaming it, unless you are at near the top, or a ways up the list, no one's going to see it. Uh, you you should be picking games that are kind of not like brand new, but I think they said the best way to pick it is find a game that's got in between 3 to 5,000 people, or viewers. And then, because you generally in those games, you're going to have probably the first row or two is going to have most of the people that are watching, and then you have the lower numbers below that. If you're in a chat or if you're in an area that has, let's say, 200,000 viewers, right? Well, you're going to probably be on like row 30. No one generally, no one's going to go that far down to find a streamer. They're going to go for the first 2 to 3 rows. They're going to click the first one. Oh, they don't like that, then they'll go to the next one. Oh, okay. And then the next one, so they keep working their way down. If you're row 30, their chances of them seeing you is virtually nil. Ah, okay. Yeah, see, but that's not common. I mean, it's awesome that you do that, but generally people are going to go to the ones on the top because they feel either they're the best or they have the most viewers, so they're like more entertaining. You find something that's a little less saturated, and that's what you're streaming, you're going to get other people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do try it from time to time, but it's definitely not the norm. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I definitely have not actually played like Rocket League or anything like that. I don't know. It's a lot of the games that I play are either like single player or they're just kind of real chill, relax games. I mean, right now I switch between like three of them right now. I've been playing Subnautica. I've been playing Ghost Recon and The Witcher 3. I started from the beginning. It's not that I don't have time, Dom. It's like our schedules are weird. You know, the times that you're able to play, I normally can't. I don't know. We definitely do need to set a time up though to play something. I mean, you said you're off all of like next week, right? Because of AK. Yeah, we definitely do. Okay, and then we did get our 50 back, so we can at least pay that back. I mean, I'm going to be broke. But yeah, that's completely up to her. And I will, Nancy. I they're supposed to be asleep right now, but I can hear them through the walls, so I will definitely make sure to let them know you say hi. Oh yeah. Oh, but unfortunately, guys, it is that time. I definitely have to get off here between. I try to only go 2:10, but I did go a little bit longer. But I am going to kind of try and do a series off of this game. I think I'm going to start on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start doing the European map. So please be on the lookout for that on my YouTube channel. To find that, you can hit exclamation YT or scroll down to the About Me section, and it is there. Also, if you guys want to, you can follow me on my social medias. You can follow me on Instagram at _Mr__. You can follow me on Twitter at _Mr___. That's two. And then you can also just send me emails to _Mr at yahoo.com. And as always, I did enjoy everyone being here and hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. So the things and the yeahs, I did appreciate everyone coming out and for the follows and the do we have a host tonight? Not sure if we did or not. But definitely appreciate all the follows and the Dom with the resub tonight is awesome, man. Thank you very much. But other than that, you guys don't worry. I will be back here again tomorrow night. I'm still debating on what I'll be playing tomorrow. I think I might try Subnautica. There's a couple things I want to finish up on that. I think we're getting real close to the end of that. So maybe doing that, and then I'll be swapping back and forth between Farm Sim and The Witcher. So again, that will be at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time tomorrow night. And I hope you all tune in then. And yes, definitely good night, everyone. Oh, and anytime there, Best Pickle, anytime. It was a struggle for me at first, but once I kind of got the nerves out of the way, it's been a lot easier since then. So, but yeah, stop by anytime. I'm more than willing to give you my point of view and help you out with things that I've heard. Every person is going to have the things that work for them, so just keep that in mind. Not every channel is going to be the same. But other than that, I did want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. I will be back here tomorrow, and Till then, I hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend, and as always, stay safe.